Hey YouTube, so Diablo 4 just released a new video. It's called Inside the Game, Your Class, Your Way. Yeah, and I thought I would just do a reaction to it, and I'm guessing this is about the classes in the game or customization. So yeah, here we go. Put this on the full screen. Let's begin. Yeah, the Druid. 17 damage. Your class, your way.
In the eternal conflict between the high heavens and the burning hells, Diablo 4 offers you more choice than ever before. Player choice is infused into everything, from how you look, the skills you use, the loot you equip, your path through the non-linear story, to how and when you choose to explore the shared open world.
We want players to play their own way and have their own choice of how they're going to build their character.
Between all of our different systems, you can really create a custom character in ways that was not available in previous Diablo titles.
I definitely felt that. Using your class.
When you log into Diablo 4, the first thing you're gonna have to do is create your character. And those familiar with Diablo are gonna be very familiar with the screen with all the classes sitting around the campfire.
Oh yeah, look at that. The classic, they always do the campfire thing. I think it's great. Very nostalgic for everyone. I will say, after playing the beta, I think the classes, I think all the classes have their own customization, and I think they're great. It's like each character, I think, almost has like 4 options. And I say 4 options, but there's infinite, but they kind of give you, they kind of wean you in towards, right? For Druid, there's basically Storm, Earth, Bear, or Werewolf. You can do a mix of them, but there's 4 distinct ones if you want to be very specific. Even Barbarian, there's like a bleeding spec, you know, like a whirlwind spec, a dual wielding spec, then like a heavy 2-hander spec. You know, just like you can mix it up, but there's definitely specific customizations there for you if you want it. And like Necromancer, there's blood, bone, minion spec. You know, that's kind of where I was going with it.
In Diablo 4, we got 5 classes. The Barbarian is
your fantasy
of a fierce warrior or fighter.
The Barbarian
Gonna go into it.
The weapon master of Diablo 4, being able to pick up any weapon, jump into the fray, and do really badass stuff with it.
They're very strong, they're very physical. They can take different weapons for different situations and use them to their maximum effect.
The sorcerer is really your elemental mage. You have fire,
let's go back
ice.
here. So I kind of just talked about it, but gosh, where is his name? No, whatever. So the Barbarian, I thought it was great, kind of just what I said before. There was a bleed spec, a 2-hander spec, a whirlwind spec, and then you can even like go tanky if you want. I thought I definitely had a great class fantasy. I will say the arsenal system, it's I think it's good, but how am I going to say this? You don't really notice it. I think it works so fluently that you don't notice it, but in some ways I think that diminishes from it. But yeah, anyways, I think the Barbarian was good.
To pick up any weapon.
Let's go back to...
They're very physical. They can take different weapons from effect.
The sorcerer is really your elemental mage. You have...
And I guess before they talk, my thoughts on the sorcerer. Definitely felt the strongest in the beta, but if I had to pick the spec I liked the most, I think it would be fire. I think that Inferno, that channeled spell, kind of like Disintegrate from Diablo 3, was my favorite, where you just... I like channeled spells in Diablo games. Like I like Whirlwind, Barbarian, Incinerate, Sorcerer. I think Ice is definitely the most safest because, you know, you can crowd control the best. Except Lightning felt the most overpowered just because Chain Lightning was so strong, but they're kind of nerfing it.
Fire, ice, lightning. You can either focus on one or you can kind of be a jack of all trades mage and use abilities from all 3.
Yeah, there you go, Inferno. That's my favorite.
Classes tend to be more ranged. The Rogue, unlike the Barbarian, they are
Rogue.
A little bit more...
So my thoughts on the Rogue. I played the Rogue, I think, the least in the beta, but I definitely think the melee spec was more my thing. I'm more of a melee player anyways, but it definitely felt very effective. It felt in some ways bruisier than the Barbarian somehow, just I think because the health regen. But I thought the Rogue was fun. The one thing I think there must be an invisibility spell. I just must have not used it much. I wish they had more abilities that like triggered invisibility. I think that would have been kind of cool. And I thought the range spec was great. Just range isn't my thing, but I thought the marksman range rogue was fun too.
They are a little bit more clever. They're very fast. They have the ability to imbue their weapons with different
Oh yeah,
elemental
imbuements were
energies,
cool.
and they can modify them to do different things.
The rogue has 2 different types of
Yep,
playstyles.
here we go.
You have the
What I just said
ranged
before,
crossbow type gameplay, or you have the in-your-face daggers, poisons. You can
That's what I
bait
liked.
enemies into traps that have huge effects. More stealthy type gameplay. And the druid is really
The
the
druid. My reaction time is sucky. My reaction time is ass. So the druid, I was trying to pause on their title screens here. This is going to be my first class. I've always, since Diablo 2, druid has been the first character I ever played. So I played Diablo 2 in the expansion. I know the memes, 17 damage. You know what? I like the challenge, even though I know it's going to be slower. I play the game. I'm not like a. I love, I play. I'm going to play Diablo 4 a lot, but I'm definitely not like I need to get to the level 100 first or the fastest. I'm going to take my time, enjoy the story, and I hopefully they buff the druid a little bit. But even if the damage is a little less, hey, it means I'm enjoying the combat a little more because it's a little slower. Druid, I think out of all of them, I'm gonna play bear spec. I thought the bear was pulverized, felt great, and the overpower mechanic where it kind of does more damage the tankier, the more fortify you have, it feels good. So even if you're tanky, you're doing at least some pretty good damage. I know you won't be the highest damage dealer because you gotta compensate some. You have to give up some damage for tankiness, right? It would be kind of overpowered if you can be the tankiest character and the most damaging character. So I thought bear was good. Let's see. Earth. I thought Earth felt fun. I liked Earth spec a lot too. So if I had to, it would basically be if I had to tier it, I think it would went Bear Druid is my favorite, then Earth Druid, then Werewolf Druid. I think the Rabies is a classic ability and that felt great. I would definitely do like a. I didn't like their core spending ability. I think it's like a couple slashes. I forget what it's called, but I loved Rabies. I would definitely, if I ever did like a Werewolf Druid, I would do the Rabies one, like specifying Rabies. Spreading a dot around felt great. And then my least favorite, funny enough, was kind of the wind/lightning. And I say that because I just mentioned that almost every class I think kind of has a channeled ability, and the druid one is like a lightning storm. But it didn't feel that great. Maybe because you can only channel it for like up to 4 seconds, then you're out of spirit. It just kind of felt bad. But maybe with like the right spells and legendaries, it'll feel better. Anyways, as you can see, I talked about the druid the most. Yeah, that lightning didn't feel that.
What you
great.
can do. They can turn into werebears or werewolves. If I cast a werewolf skill, I turn into a werewolf and I do werewolf things. If
yeah, and they have a
cast,
summoning. You can,
for example, which is a werebear skill. I turn into a werebear. I slam the ground really hard. Fits the fantasy. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
They can also become masters of nature magic with earth and storm magic. And last but not least, we got the necromancer. They raise armies.
Well, I have to keep missing it just by a hair here. There we go. The necromancer. Thoughts on the necromancer? Felt great. It's funny. I see. It feels great. It did, but when you had minions out, maybe I'm weird, and I felt like it felt too easy. I almost like you can just. I mean, some people like that where you just kind of AFK and let your minions do everything. You don't even have to think about the game. But it gets so boring. It got so boring for me. I was watching YouTube on my other screen just because like your minions did everything. So I think if I ever did a necromancer in the game, I say this like, oh, I would do a non-summon spec. And that's more about the class fantasy, right? Like you can do a non-summon druid. But at the same time, I don't know, it's just so easier with minions. But I still felt the fantasy of the necromancer felt great. Like you had a blood, I said this before, but you had blood, a minion spec, a bone spec. I think there was almost like a semi-melee oriented spec with like swinging your scythe around. So yeah, I thought the necromancer felt good too.
You got the necromancer. They raise armies of the dead. They have different types of minions. You've got your skeletal warriors, your skeletal mages, and then your golem.
I thought the golem felt weak.
Or bone magic that you can also take advantage of and tackle combat that way. If you've played a previous Diablo
Corpse
game
explosion feels good always.
Play style, you can actually bring that into Diablo 4, or just try something completely new.
No matter which class you play, there's going to be multiple different avenues and fantasies that you can chase.
Yeah, that felt good. Designing your look.
You can customize your character in ways you've never been able to before, with near endless character creation and transmog options.
I will say the transmog feels great. The customization,
had to be attached to certain archetypes.
Unfortunately, each archetype, as he says, has their own body type. I don't care about that. I think it's fine, but I know some people will be upset. I think the reason the character customization, I mean, it's better than Diablo 3, right? Diablo 3 you picked man or female. But I think they had to kind of limit it because your character is in the I mean, I'm no video game creator, so I could be totally off base here. But I'm guessing they like you only have like a couple presets for each slot. And I wonder if that's because you're getting your characters being rendered into the in-game cinematics, which are a little bit higher elevated than they're not just plotting your character into the game. When your character is in a cutscene, like the visuals are enhanced and updated. So maybe that's why. Like don't get me wrong, you have customization, but it's not to the degree like you can't change your body type. You don't have sliders for your character.
Types that look a certain way. And in Diablo 4, it's really up to you.
You can make your character kind of look like
you'll be able to choose
except for your body mass
structures from people all over the world. No matter
yeah,
where you
I mean,
are,
it's not bad. You have like 4 variants for each thing, except for colors. Colors, you have a lot of options.
From my part of the world, which we're really proud of. You can pick a hairstyle for your character, and every class actually has a specific hairstyle.
I will say this, Blizzard, you're not going to see this video, but what I don't get is this is great, but why is when you go to your transmog person, once you're in the game, once you create your character in your game, why can't you recustomize everything again? I'm pretty sure when you go to, at least in the beta, you could only change certain aspects. And I almost think it was just the accessories. I think it was just this tab. You could only change like your earrings, your tattoos, but your hairstyle and your skin color, you couldn't change once you create your character, which kind of sucks. Like they got rid of that in World of Warcraft. Like in World of Warcraft, you can change your skin. You can go from male to female in World of Warcraft for free, like just at the barbershop. Whereas in this game, it's kind of going backwards, where you can't change if you're male or female. You can't change. I'm pretty sure you can't change any of this. Yeah, any of your skin color or hair color or eye color, you can't change. The only things you can change are your tattoos and earrings. I think that's it, really. I think that's stupid. Blizzard, I hope in the main game, maybe that was just for beta, but I hope in the real game you can do that. Or it'll be in the shopping, or it'll be in the shop, which would be so sad and piss me off. We have to pay for like a hair color change,
really fun ones.
Or an eye color change, or skin change. So stupid.
And then you can actually pick a marking, which is a tattoo or a design that
only thing you can change outside of the character.
Transmog is the idea that you can take a piece of gear and change the appearance of it to look like a different piece of gear.
Necromancer Transmog looks great.
The limit. However you can think of making your character, you can make it that way.
I will say, let me go back a little bit. I think the Transmog was great. As you can see, you can have like different ensembles. I think that's great. You can have like presets saved. I also loved, compared to Warcraft, you can actually change your pigment. So we're not going to get like one set for doing one thing and then just a different color of the set for doing something else. You can actually choose your colors. That's great. That makes me super happy. So yeah, let's continue. I think the Transmog, out of everything, I think the Transmog was the best. I do think it kind of sucks that you need to salvage your gear to get the Transmog. You don't just get it when you pick it up, but maybe that's for trading purposes. So you're not trading with people so that everyone gets the Transmog, but
everybody's going to look completely different in Diablo 4.
Yeah, kinda. I'd say yeah.
One of our pillars for class design in Diablo 4 is this idea that we want players to play the way that they want to. When you first start the game, we introduce you to the idea of the skill tree. As you level up, you get access to these different skills or passives or upgrades to make your character.
I will say the skill tree, my thoughts on the skill tree, I like it. I like the simplicity of it. I know I'm not going to be, I'm not a PoE player, so some people hate it. I liked it. It is a mix of Diablo 2 and Diablo 3. In Diablo 3, you kind of have nodes that alter the spell. Instead of like 5 options, you get 2 options now. But your legendaries kind of give you more options. And then I do like that you kind of have to go down the tree. That's, where you have to start down, like to get to the bottom ones, you have to get some in the top. And I think that's based off Diablo 3, right? Or not Diablo 3, Diablo 2, excuse me. So yeah, I liked it. I mean, I'll be honest, I liked it. I liked the simplicity of it. I almost wish there were some more nodes to alter your spells, but besides that, I thought it was okay. Pretty good.
More powerful.
Each category has a few different skills that are all similar. They're either all defensive or all offensive, all ice or all fire. You can either focus on a very specific section or you can pick and choose.
The first skill point when you unlock a new skill is going to give you access to that skill. After that, you can put additional points into any skill that you have, and it's going to make it better, whether it increases the radius or adds some new effect or reduces the cooldown through some special way.
You can actually branch out in a
From what I've learned is you kind of want to just put 1 point into the spell to have it, and then you want to get all the passives next, because the passives are so strong. Whereas I think getting to 5 points on whatever skill you pick, getting to the max increases the scaling of it. So I think it'll be better off as you get higher level. So I really do think you almost want to put the last 4 points in your spells last. I could be wrong, but that's what it felt like. You really wanted to get all your passives early on and just get the ability you wanted, and then max out the ability
very different direction,
at the end.
even if 2 characters actually started at the same place. The Paragon Board is a late game system.
Oh boy, I don't know how this works. So
your skill tree, you think you have a build, it will really let
it looks
you
cool.
delve into
I hope
the
it's great.
crafting and the depth
little
of
beyond
Diablo
my
4 skill system.
And these boards, they can move through them, spending their Paragon points, and they have nodes that give them.
I will say with the Paragon Board, I know people are just going to copy what the pros do, but I do hope. I mean, I'm a pretty casual player. I do hope at least a large majority don't feel. I hope that I like that they're adding a complicated system for the people that like this stuff, right? Don't get me wrong. I'm happy they're doing that. But I hope it's not too complicated where that it's like PoE where every single person, or most people, I'm not going to say every single person. Some people don't look up guides at all. Like I look up guides, but not a lot. I do hope it's not complicated to the point where you feel like you have to go on the internet to figure it out. I hope they introduce it enough that if you want to try and tackle it yourself, you can. We'll have to wait till the game comes out to see. I know I'm gonna try it out first. I feel like if you play your character enough, you'll kind of understand what you're going for with your build. I hope. We'll see.
Stats like intellect or dexterity. We also have more powerful nodes. We have rare nodes that have different effects where they can totally modify a skill to do something additional or different.
That's my hope, at least.
Or they can even make new connections between skills so that players can have new ways to play their character. Legendary nodes are equivalent to legendary powers, where they have more powerful effects that can change the builds and ways that characters play.
Oh wow, look at that. Oh, and so I see. So you pick your board, you have 6 boards, and each one comes with the legendary. So you kind of pick your board based off the legendary. And I have heard that these boards, it's almost like the talent trees where the board just kind of deepens your, for example, Werebear Druid, that's what I'm going to do. There's probably going to be a legendary node that's literally like for Werebear. I bet you there's going to be a node for Werebear, a legendary node for Werewolf, a legendary node for Earth, a legendary node for Storm, and then maybe 2 legendary nodes are like a mix. So one legendary mode will be like a Werewolf Werebear, and then one legendary node will be an Earth Lightning one. That's my opinion. That's what I think will be for the Druid. This is the Rogue, but I'm just basing off of that. They're kind of like, so if you want to be fully one of one thing, or if you want to be a mix of the two, you can.
You can start planning this long journey of, okay, I want to hit this node, and then I want to hit this node. I'm going to apply this board, and I'm going to start from this side, and really just get into a super complex, very specific build for your character.
Outfitting your character.
Legendary items are really rare and powerful items that you're going to find.
I thought legendaries felt great.
Through the world of Sanctuary. We have quite a few different categories of legendaries and how they do that.
That was cool. I don't know what that was.
Change your skill or enhance it in some way.
Frozen Orb, for example, it might say, hey, every single time you use your Frozen Orb, it applies a new effect. And then I can actually take advantage of that new effect that it has. Even if the item itself is maybe not as good as the one you have, you can still extract that power from it, take advantage of it, and use it for your build.
One thing that our players can look forward to is that a lot of our classic, really rare, and most powerful items from previous titles are going to be returning as uniques in Diablo 4.
Uniques. Okay, there we go. I'm not going to read this. With a chance to deal double damage and knock them back. So this is like basically if you want to be a ranged rogue and keep enemies away from you. We haven't seen all the uniques yet, but the ones we've seen, or I've seen, I know there was like a cool Druid one, but I think this looks great. And apparently, newsflash, if people didn't know this, I thought you can only have 1 unique equipped at a time. You can have apparently as many as you want. I could be, I hope I'm not off base there, but I'm pretty sure you can have as many, and uniques are basically just more powerful legendaries from what I understand. I I didn't think that. I thought that you can only have one unique on your character at a time. So that's awesome. That's just a little, that might change that, but that's for when I hear.
Uniques in Diablo 4.
Unique items are very similar to legendaries, but they're unique, which means if that ability is actually on a chess piece, it's always going to be on that chess piece.
Oh, well, there you go. So it's only on a certain item slot.
A regular legendary effect.
Crafting is a big part of Diablo 4. We have all kinds of different ways that you could upgrade and interact with NPCs to make your gear better. You can increase the
crafting is always, you know, a little MMO-ish thing that's always great to have in these games.
You can also add sockets to your gear so that you can put gems inside of it.
There are a lot of different ways that players will be able to customize their experience in Diablo 4. Every single player is going to have a different
wardrobe
experience and a different build at the end of the day.
Because we have all of these different ways to make your own character, there's a lot more possibility compared to previous titles of how you want to play, how you want to build your character. We really are doubling down on this idea that you can look the way you want, you can play the way you want, you can really make your own fantasy in this game. On this idea that you can look the way you want, you can play the way you want, you can really make your own fantasy in this game.
Hell welcomes all.
No, wait.
A lot more possibility compared to previous titles of how you want to play, how you want to build your character. We really are doubling down on this idea that you can look the way you want, you can play the way you want, you can play the way you want. Doubling down on this idea previous titles of how you want to play, how you want to build your character. We really are doubling down on this idea that you
doubling down, double down. I love it. I love it, Blizzard. You guys, you should just use double down a lot. You know, based off their not Wendy's, what was it? KFC brand thing they did. Just use the word double down for a lot of stuff now.
Look the way you want, you can play the way you want, you can really make your own fantasy in this game.
Hell welcomes all, and so does Diablo 4.
Thanks, Rod.
In the coming weeks, we'll be sharing even more about how to play your way.
Oh wow, some more posts, more stuff for me to react to.
Closer still if you got early access. And we can't wait to see you in Sanctuary. Hail Lilith, Blessed Mother.
Whoa, 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 hold up, hold up. Wow, that's the ultimate for Necromancer. That's like the blood wave. I forget what it's called, but it's black. What the hell? That must be like a legendary passive. That's so sick. I love when you can like change how the appearance of spells look. That's like a black wave, so I guess that's darkness. Oh, I think there's like a legendary that makes there's a legendary that makes that a dark spell. Maybe that's what that is. That's sick. I'm not a big fan of the blood spec for Necro, but I did like the darkness one, so that looks so cool. What the hell? Hold on.
Blessed Mother.
And that looks awesome. Something about Black Liquid just is like eerie and kind of cool. I like that a lot. Sick. Cool. Well, there we go. That was great. What are people's thoughts about this? Hey, Maul looks really good in this. It seems they have improved the animation a lot. He's really throwing his weight into it and leaving a swipe. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Nice. Nothing's too specific, but no, I thought this was great. I know people are gonna like say, oh, there's not as much customization as other ARPGs like PoE. I think Blizzard does a great job of giving you a lot of customization, and I hope in the future they add more customization. But this was fun. I do think the game has a lot of customization. Maybe I'm off base by saying that, but when I played the game, each character had like 3 or 4, at least like class fantasy options. And I know some people don't even care about class fantasy. They just want to pick the most OP spec that does the most damage. But for me, class fantasy is really cool. I keep using Druid because he was the one I played the most in the beta. But for Druid, like I loved that you can be a werebear Druid full on through. You could be a full on werewolf. You could be a mix of the two, or you could be a full on caster. I just thought class fantasy felt great in Diablo 4, and I cannot wait for the beta. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. I thought this was a great video. I'll put a link on it in the description, and yeah, let me know, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. I still feel weird saying that, but yeah, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.